Welcome back or welcome to Almost 30 Podcast.
Hi, everybody. It's Lindsey and Krista. We're so glad you're here. This podcast we started a while back in our late 20s. We were going through an intense time, not really knowing who we were, what our purpose was. Everything was kind of up in flames, to be honest, but it was a purposeful time, we realized. And so we wanted to have really honest conversations, hopefully valuable, insightful conversations to support you all through it as well. But we also realized you're kind of going through changes all the time in life.
Yes.
So I think this is applicable whether you're in your almost 30 era or not.
Yeah. And we are so glad to be back with a solo. So we have beautiful interviews with some of the best around, some of the best healers, teachers, and leaders. And then we do solo episodes where we talk in personal life about things that we're going through and about things that we're learning. And it's just like a hangout conversation with your two best friends, your big sisters. These are the conversations I love to listen to when I listen to podcasts. I love to listen to like an easy, fun, interesting conversation. And today's episode is about being the coolest person that you know, how to be the coolest person that you know. So what inspired this conversation for me was just thinking about those people in your life that are like so magnetic and cool and confident to you. I was at a dinner the other night and there was someone at this dinner that just had this like radiance to them, this like magnetism and this cool factor that I was like, what is it about this? I'm someone that always is like dissecting things. Like I'm always like, why is that the way it is? Like, okay, you see something, but why? I'm just such a why person. So I was like thinking about it. What is it about this person that makes them magnetic, that makes them cool, that makes them interesting? And so today we're going to be breaking down what makes a really cool person, what makes someone the coolest person that you know, and how you can incorporate these tips and tools for that magnetism in your life to become the person that you know you can be and always wanted to.
I was thinking how like just my idea of cool and how it's evolved
Such
over
a
the
good
years.
one.
So obviously like, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. Hopefully there are some youngins out there listening to this conversation. This becomes your new definition of cool. But yeah, I mean, even as far back as like middle school, this idea, elementary school, this idea of cool was just, it's what I remember about that time. I remember very little about that time in my life, but it's like who was cool,
Yes,
and why I wasn't cool. And it really had an impact on me where I think like, whether it's like insecurity or just trying to be what the other person deemed as cool, even though that's like so not my truth. I mean, the group of kids that were cool were kind of like bad kids. And by bad, I mean, they would smoke, they would like sneak out, they would like hang out in fields.
Oh my God.
They dressed a certain way.
Mine would like shoplift.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. They would make out. Like they would like, be boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yes.
Like, not that that's bad, but it's like and it was early,
they were like little
very
trash
young.
balls.
Yeah. Trashy, but like so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. I remember the instrument that I chose was based on like the fact that I got to sit next to like some of the cool kids. And
oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Those types of things where you're like, man, did you have a backbone? Like,
Yeah.
are you your own person? And I think it evolved like, cut to high school, like thankfully in some ways, I feel like at that point, the weirder you were, the more yourself you were. In my class in particular, later in high school, like the cooler you were.
I think that's your particular thing.
I was at an all-girls private school.
Yes.
If you let your freak flag fly, it was all good.
Yeah. I think because at
a public.
That's such an interesting balance of cool. And I think even for how to be cool now, we'll talk about that. It's like usually truly like being the weirdest person that you know, being like the most interesting. But when you're really young, it is like conformity is cool. Are you guys all wearing Hollister? Are you all wearing Abercrombie? Are you all wearing the same thing? Are you all doing the same thing? Are you all saying the same thing? I remember my friend at that time, she had a specific handwriting and I started to copy her handwriting.
Oh, totally.
And my teacher was like, don't copy Renee's handwriting on my paper.
Was the dot on the I a circle, like a little bubble?
Yes, exactly. And then the A had a hat.
Oh, love
It
that
was a
one.
hat A.
Yep.
So it was crazy and it was
Very
flirty and
cool.
it was unique and quirky. So I was like, I've got to do this. So it was like copying was the cool thing. But yeah, it's funny too, because when you're a young, it's almost like being bad, being rebellious is cool as well. But then you get older and you're like, what? That's like, it's like something that thinks. So there is an evolution of cool for sure.
Yes.
College is definitely different.
I reverted in college. I was like back to like, what is
Conformity.
everyone else
I was
doing?
very conformity, like wearing what everyone was wearing, like doing what everyone was doing. Yeah,
Yes.
I kind of did too. I don't know why that is actually.
It just felt so new and it felt scary to like truly be myself all the time or like, you know, where I was like, I need to fit in here.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the basis, like being cool is really like having self-acceptance. It's like accepting yourself as you are, knowing who you are, accepting that, and then being that in the world. And so how can we really do that? So when we think about these desires that we have to be more authentic, to, feel more expressed, to feel more loved, to feel like we're more of ourselves in the world, a lot of that is the self-acceptance of like being cool with who you are and like knowing who you are and expressing that in the world. I think my journey with being cool or being the most confident person that I know, I've always been very confident. And I've always been someone that has had that. Obviously, there's deep insecurity that I have. I'm not silly to think that, but there's always been a way of being that I've had of being confident, but I would almost use that overconfidence to hide insecurities at times, So coming into true confidence, which is like a peace, a neutrality, like an understanding, a patience even is like true confidence, has been definitely a journey that I think has been really hard at times. But I think the journey to getting to feeling cool and in your body and then confident is so worth it. It's the best feeling in the world.
Completely. And it's so fun now to like, be in the world as like an adult. And there is like kind of a degaff to the coolness. And it doesn't mean you don't care.
Yeah, that's like an interesting balance that I want to explore.
Yeah, it's not like, I don't give a fuck what you think. It's just.
I love that meme where it's like, I don't give a fuck. And it's like tears streaming down my face. That is so me. I don't care what anyone thinks. Literally bawling my eyes out.
There's an air of just not needing, whether it's like the validation from others or needing anyone or anything to affirm who you are because you are so sure of that or the exploration of it.
Yeah.
I think that's super key in coolness. It's like the exploration of self is like your practice.
Yes. Totally. Totally. And for things that hold people back from feeling cool and confident is things like anxiety. Social anxiety a lot of times can hold people back from feeling confident in a room, feeling like they're their best selves. I was at this event a while back and there was this girl there that is in my space and seen as like a very cool person, but almost has so much social anxiety that they're not friendly or nice. So I'm like, oh, you're technically cool online because it's easy to cultivate a cool persona online.
Sure.
But like in person, if you have social anxiety, like that's not cool to me. It's fine to have it, but like you need to be able to hold a conversation to be cool. So oftentimes anxiety can prevent people from being in their body, from feeling confident, from feeling like they're being themselves. And that can really prohibit that feeling of that cool, confident nature.
Yeah. Also, if you have like a really outdated understanding of what it means to be cool and confident, I feel like if you are kind of the part of you that, is still hoping that like those girls in high school see you and like you're kind of projecting that onto different groups of people as you get older or situations or experiences, that could be holding you back. You know what I mean? So I think it's been important in therapy for me to understand like what programming is running underneath the situation. And oftentimes it's outdated. Oftentimes it's from middle school, from high school, from even younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause someone could be running with like a cool programming from high school or a cool program from 7th and 8th grade where you're like, oh yeah, we talk shit about people. We judge people. It's cool to like convene and collude on talking shit about someone else or like bringing someone else down, or it's cool to be like everyone else. It's cool to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But really when you get to it, it's like the coolness is like inward out living. It's like,
and I think a lot of people are running on that, what you just described.
oh yeah.
Like if I think about women in particular, sorry, ladies, I feel like I've kind of seen that over and over. Not in like my particular friend groups at all, but like if I observe
Totally.
others.
Totally.
Yeah. Just like the gossiping,
Oh, yeah,
that's
the
how
gossiping.
they connect.
Totally.
Or, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like it's like being the meanest can be cool, can be seen, where it's like, because it's also sometimes the meanness is funny.
Yeah.
So you get the humor and you're making fun of someone. So that can kind of be considered cool. So there is like an element of that where you're like, okay, this is not actual. But for me, that coolness is like disengagement from all of that completely. It's like actually having no conversation or part of any of that, being like, oh, okay. Like I was at a dinner the other day with friends and they were talking about this girl that they were like, I don't really know how she has the money to buy a house, kind of like going in on that. I was like, well, it's actually none of our business. And I said it kind of under my breath. I wasn't confident enough to say it really loud. And then my friend heard me. She's like, oh yeah, you're exactly right. And then we completely stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to do that more. To be like, actually none of our business, period. Because we don't know where she got the money. Maybe
100%.
so many of my friends, I like even know them so well. I'm like, how do you even make money? I don't even know. Yeah. They're like, I have actually a technology business that I run. And I'm like, why? Literally like, what do you mean?
I have an Airbnb in Portugal, babe.
Yeah, no, honestly. They're like, I've got this $27 offer that I've been making $3 million a year on for 4 years. I'm like, what do you, like, what? And it's like, yeah, so not even, I think also what can keep you, holding you back from feeling cool is comparing yourself. Comparing yourself to other people, thinking you're less than, looking what other people are doing. So that also can not only make you feel worse about yourself, but can kind of throw you off your own unique, cool path of what it is that you came here to do.
Yeah, completely.
I am so obsessed with this brand. I have like a cabinet dedicated to Symbiotica. If you're someone who is like, what supplement company can I trust? And what won't drive me crazy in terms of like taking a million pills? Well, Symbiotica is it. They have so many forms of liposomal delivery in their vitamin C, their magnesium L-threonate, their glutathione. These formulations are so pure, so potent, and are not just like one intention, right? Like the vitamin C isn't just vitamin C. It also has biotin in it, which is a beautifying vitamin. So I love their intentionality with these products. I wanted to share that I've been drinking the Shilajit from Symbiotica. It's the best in the world. It's a live resin. It will support your overall health, but it has more than 84 minerals that promote healthy DNA and bodily functions. I take this first thing in the morning. I also will pair it with the glutathione for enhanced cellular support, and this really helps to counter aging as well. But the Shilajit is a resin formed from the decomposition of plant matter and earth with the help of microorganisms. Oh, it is so powerful. It contains fulvic acid and over 86 trace minerals. These are required for most of the body's biological processes, so it's incredibly important. And it's really easy to use. I just take a small little scooper that comes with it, put it in hot water. It is the best. And it's really light. Like I think it tastes great. And I drink it every single morning. So all of their products I absolutely love. I'm also loving the vitamin C and the glutathione. They taste super yummy, but you can get 20% off site-wide with code almost30 when you go to symbiotica.com/almost30. That's symbiotika.com/almost30 and use the code almost30 for 20% off site-wide. Okay, so I was going to get my hair cut the other day and my hair was in snarls because I'm a mom and I wear hats and put my hair up and down and sideways, and my kid puts his hands in my hair, and I had so many knots. So I did a quick rinse and I sprayed in the Lola V detangler. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this glossing detangler is so incredible. It works immediately and it leaves my hair looking and feeling so healthy, and I can get the tangles out. So it's Awesome. 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 This brand, Lola V, is founded by Jennifer Aniston. You know her, you love her, and you love her hair, I'm sure. And she had like all of the challenges that we face. You know what I mean? Whether it's like dry, broken hair, like we use the tools, we do the blow drying, we do the coloring, and she found a way to make products that are clean and healthy for us, but also work. It's amazing. So, as we transition into the crisper and chillier months, our hair faces a whole new set of challenges from the dry indoor heat to frigid winds. It's no wonder our looks can just feel a little off during the winter. And she was really tired. Jen was really tired between products that work and nourish. So she created Lola V to solve that dilemma. So what sets this brand apart is the groundbreaking proprietary B Pro 3 bond technology. This naturally derived peptide bond builder derived from chia seeds is clinically proven to prevent, protect, and repair signs of aging and damage on the hair. It's incredible. So, I love the glossing detangler, but I also really love the Sunday Reset. Jen loves it too. It's the exfoliate and detox scalp shampoo and intensive repair treatment. So I do this every single Sunday. It's like a little ritual, and my hair absolutely loves it. So check out Lola V. All of their products are really incredible and good for you. Unlock Jennifer Aniston approved hair at lolav.com, LOLAVIE.com. As our loyal listener, you'll get an exclusive 15% off your entire order when you use the code A30POD15. A30POD15 at checkout. That's 15% off your order at lolav.com, LOLAVIE.com with promo code A30POD15. Please note that you can only use one promo code per order and discounts can't be combined. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and it would be amazing if you could support our show and tell them that we sent you. Your hair will thank you.
All right, shall we get into the tips?
Yeah, let's talk tips about how to be cool
How
and
to be
confident.
cool, baby.
I think for me, the first thing, and this is something I definitely am in the era of now, I feel confidently, is doing your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my own vibe. I don't have any friends that I'm like groups that I'm like in or like attached to. I can go where I want, do what I want. I'm not codependent with anybody. I'm like creating from a space that feels authentically me. I'm just following my intuition. I'm following my gut. I'm wearing what I want to wear. I'm talking to the people that I want to talk to. And I really am so grateful to be in a space where I've never been like this in my life, where I've been single. I've been able to do this and really just doing what it is that I want to do. So it's that inward out motivation of like, what do I want?
Yes.
What do I want to do? What do I want to create? Not following what anyone else is doing. And there's like a magic to that where you're like, what are they doing? What are they interested in? Like, there's like, they've got their own unique perspective and they're living from that soul frequency, which is just so beautiful. So living from that inward out inspiration and doing your own thing, not following any trends.
Yeah, 100%. For me, being like in your body and really grounded in your body, no matter your body type. Coolness and confidence does not have a body type. But it's felt. Like when you see someone walk into a room,
it's everything,
who are fully embodied, watch out. Like it's stunning. It is magnetic. It is
stunning.
It's breathtaking because it's less about the visual of it. And it's more about like the felt sense. And doesn't mean you have to like practice how to walk or anything like that. There are certain practices that have really helped me to feel more embodied. And there are times in my life where I feel less embodied, And so I kind of come back to these. One of them is breath work. It's one of the ones that I don't like look forward to doing, but it's always, always, always brought me back to my body, to myself. It's been profound in just like releasing any emotional stuckness that might be held in my body as tension or other things. So that's been really important. And then for me, I love like expression through the body. So dance or ecstatic movement. A few weeks ago, I was like craving like dancing, like choreographed dancing. I was a dancer in a past life when I was younger. And so I popped on YouTube, and like choreographers have like these channels that are so amazing, and they teach you choreography. And I just like learned the choreography, and it was in my own home. Nobody was watching. But what I felt afterwards, like I just felt surprised that I could do it. And I felt sexy. I felt more connected to parts of my body that I feel like after having a baby can feel disconnected, like my hips, like my upper body and my shoulders, which normally are like really tense and holding a lot. But it was amazing. So I think being in your body is just always so cool, and like the confidence that it exudes is unmatched.
It's huge. I mean, I think when you think of a confident person, their energy is fully in their body. It's like in their feet.
Yeah.
It's like they feel safe enough in their body to be there. They're mentally present. They're mentally there. I think that's almost one of the biggest things. They don't have fractured energy all around them. You know, they don't have like a blurring in their field. They don't have like distortions in their aura. There's just a clarity and like a magnetism for that radiant light that's able to shine through, because that radiance is when, you know, all the light is able to come out. But the being in the body is like everything. I've noticed since I've been way more in my body, such a difference when I come in the room.
Yes.
And when I like move or when I do things. And I'm not in my body all the time. You know, I definitely have my moments to leave, but as much nervous system regulation or things you can do to be in your body, that's like going to benefit you 100 times over.
Yes.
One of the tips I think for being the most cool person you know is being able to communicate, being able to speak, being a good communicator. This is my whole thing about communication in the voice. But if you are cool and you are confident, you are able to hold good conversation with people. You're an active listener. You say what you mean what you say. You're able to clearly express things. You're able to like be dynamic in conversations. People that can't be in their body with their voice, people that can't speak clearly and confidently are never going to be successful, maybe I'll say, but you're never going to really seem as confident as you are if you say things from your body with a clear, steady pace and tone. And if you speak clearly, that's like all dictators can usually speak really well sometimes. Maybe they're not saying the best things, but we've all been around people that are amazing orators and maybe aren't even saying anything that makes sense, but you like believe them or you follow them because they're a great speaker. That's like cult leaders. But we don't want you to be cult leaders, but being confident and being cool is being well-spoken and having like clear communication.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as when I look back to like my education, that's one thing that I wish, yes, in theater we worked with the voice, but I think for everyone that should be a requirement.
Yeah.
Working with the voice, how to speak, how to communicate. And there are certain like speech classes and this and that, but we're talking about like in relationships, you know, in various different like venues of life. So yeah,
because even if it's like, hey, Lindsay, how's it going? You know, that versus like, hey, Lindsay, how are you? Like, hey, oh yeah, so I'm not quite sure if we're gonna go. I'm thinking that we might be able to get a dinner reservation at 6:30, but I think I need to check. Or like, hey, I'm not sure about the dinner reservation. I'm gonna check at 6:30. What is like more confident?
Exactly.
You know, that it's like the tone, the texture, you just saying what it is, you not being afraid of speaking, of saying what's going on or how you feel. Oftentimes people are so afraid to speak.
Yes. There's like a subtext to everything they're saying that is different from what they're actually saying.
So in order to be a better speaker, so for like tips on how to be a better speaker, you need to first be at peace with your mind. You need to first be at peace with what's happening in your mind. So the example with the dinner reservation, someone that's going to be like, oh, I'm just not sure if we can get the dinner reservation at 6:30. In their mind, they're afraid that someone's going to be mad at them. So they're not speaking clearly. So if you're able to be at peace, hey, someone might be mad at me because the dinner reservation we might not get at 6:30. And I'm okay with that. Someone that speaks and has that clarity of the mind is able to speak clearly. Hey, dinner reservation, 6:30, I might not get it. But someone that's afraid of someone being mad at them is going to speak really high, confused, not sure. So making peace with your truth is the first essential thing with communication and in communicating with confidence.
Love that. Krista does a lot of work with the voice. Retreats. What else?
Doing a mastermind with Victoria.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Another aspect of just that coolness factor and confidence, I think, is like being able to live your values. So aligning to and living your values. And it doesn't mean you need to declare your values, but I think this is really like first an internal alignment of like, what's important to me? Like, what are my values in life and my relationships and, you know, how I move about the world, my purpose, et cetera. And being able to live in integrity with those. Because I think what happens if you don't, you kind of create a lot of confusion in your field and how people view you. Certain people and other people might see you differently, which is fine and normal. But in terms of like your true character and imprint that you make, I think aligning to your values is incredibly important. And also, I think it's something that people just deeply respect, you know, and it could be very triggering for people because some people don't live their values. But I think someone whom I can like really respect and see as living their values, even if they're not ones that I agree with, I think that's really cool.
Yeah. It's like a solid foundation. Again, it's like the clarity, like, you know what this person's about, you know how they live. Like, they're very clear on who they are and they don't waver in situations. There's like a lack of codependency in being cool and confident. There's like, you're actually not codependent because you're not going to change for the situation, for the people, for the trends, for everything else going on. You're going to commit to being yourself, to finding and cultivating yourself. I think the coolest people that I know being cool and confident are people that have good boundaries. Oh my God. The coolest people that I know are like, no, doesn't work for me. I have a friend, she's like one of my most successful friends. Girl, the things that this woman will not do, she won't do anything. I'm like, this really famous person wants to connect with you. No. This brand wants to give you 50K. No. This thing, it's like, no, doesn't. Why would I do that? What is it? Like, it's just a full like self-worth belief. And then it's just like having clear boundaries of like, who gets access to me? How much do I share? Who am I? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Like, really creating those good boundaries within friendships, within business, no one like getting too much of their time, like no one really overstepping, not doing things they don't want to do. You know, oh, go to that thing. Who's all there? Oh, I don't really enjoy those people. I'm not going to go. Yeah. You know, and it seems mean at times, but it's like, no, there's actually deep clarity on like who I am and the boundaries that I set. So the coolest people I know have great boundaries.
That's what I was going to say. Like the clear boundaries are going to activate some people and they think you're not cool, but you're cool.
Yeah. They think you're not nice. But they respect you.
Some people don't respect. Some people are so activated by it. I feel like that they're like, because it's a trigger.
Yeah,
like if you don't have your own boundaries, like you're going to be triggered by someone with boundaries.
True. So fuck them.
Fuck them.
Whatever.
Okay. Are you looking for something really simple and delicious to incorporate into your routine? Something that is healthy, that can be like put in a lot of things. Well, I want to recommend something to you. I found Manuka honey. It is raw honey. It is rich, creamy, honestly the most delicious honey I've ever had. It's ethically produced by Manuka's master beekeepers in the remote forests of New Zealand. It contains super powerful nutrients to support immunity and gut health. And I take these little travel packets with me everywhere. I actually give a little bit to Mav as well because he's able to have honey now that he's a year old. The bees collect the nectar from the Manuka tea tree in New Zealand. The nectar is packed with bioactive ingredients, and the honey that is produced has 3 times more antioxidants and prebiotics than your average honey. And a special antibacterial compound called MGO also comes from the nectar of the tea tree. It is so awesome. And I've been putting it in and on everything. I put it in my tea. I'll just put it straight in my mouth. I'll put it in my yogurt. I'll put it on toast. It's a game changer. And all you need is 1 heaping teaspoon each morning to get the most out of the bioactive ingredients in Manuka honey. It's super powerful. So now it's easier than ever to try Manuka Honey. Head to manukora.com/almost30 to get $25 off the starter kit, which comes with an MGO 850 plus Manuka honey jar, 5 honey travel sticks, a wooden spoon, and a guidebook. It's actually gorgeous, so sweet, and gives me everything I need to just enjoy that Manuka honey. That's manukora.com/almost30, manukora.com/almost30 for $25 off your starter kit.
Okay, another one. I think emotional intelligence is very cool. So just being emotionally in tune, not only with yourself, but with other people. It does not mean to kind of slip into those codependent tendencies of like, allowing your emotions or your mood to be affected by others in a very deep, extreme way. But it's having awareness when you're in a room. If you're coming into a group dinner, say, and you're picking up on, say it's a big group dinner, and you're sitting next to someone who isn't talking, or maybe they feel like emotionally like a little vulnerable, and the group is kind of having a chatter, and you take a moment to just like check in like one-on-one rather
Yes.
than like with the big group and like, how are you doing? In a big group, it's so hard to connect, but I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while, just really tuning in and picking up on the nuance around you, especially on the emotional plane, I think is very, very cool, and a skill
Yes.
really that you're going to use your entire life, personally and professionally.
Huge. Yeah, emotional intelligence is so huge. I also love the tip of it's almost, related to emotional intelligence, but having that really clear, clean internal dialogue with yourself, like having a secure attachment with yourself helps you create that. The other thing that I wanted to say is the cool, confident people that I know have interesting hobbies or do things that are interesting. It's like people need to be more interesting. Find a hobby, read a book, listen to a podcast, find a fact, do something. It's like, I think the most cool people that I know are coming into situations and they're like, yeah, I just read this book. It was about, 14th century postmodernism painting. And what I found was this, like, where it's like you can bring this flavor and life to situations and scenarios and bring different context and bring different perspectives to things. Having a hobby, like being like, yeah, I actually really love sewing. I'm like, it's my favorite thing. I do it every Saturday. It's super sick. You're like, cool. No one else is doing that. That's like so cool that you have your own thing. So having these unique niches, these interesting things that you're really into, having like weird hobbies and interests is like so fascinating to me. And like the coolest people that I know have these like really weird obsessions and hobbies.
Yeah. I think a spinoff of that too is expression, like just allowing yourself to be expressed in the world, even if it's not, doesn't make you money, or even if it's not like cool.
Yes.
It's like owning your form of expression. So yes, it might be, exploring different hobbies and things, but it might be also like the way you dress.
Yeah.
It might be, the music you make or the music you listen to. It could be truly anything, but I find like I'm so attracted to people who are like creating in a way that's like they're not looking at anybody else.
Yes.
And they're just feeling fully expressed, not needing me to validate, not needing anyone to really validate.
Yeah, not need for validation because they're doing it for the inner source. The inner source is what like is leading the way. So the tips for being the coolest, confident person is a groundedness in the body. There's an ease and flexibility in the body. It's having positive self-talk. It is doing your own thing, not following any trends, Communicating with people, knowing how to speak is huge. Not doing too much, not trying too hard, having really, really good boundaries, aligning to and living your values, having emotional intelligence, and having a positive, powerful inner dialogue, and having unique hobbies and interests that actually bring something to the table. So being the coolest, confident person you know is really about this journey of becoming the person that you came here to be, about releasing codependency, about being in congruence with yourself, who it is that you truly are in this world, and then being that version. That's all it is figuring out who you are and being that version. And that's really one of our goals as souls on earth, is to do that. So being the coolest, most confident person is about your soul path and your soul journey.
And watch things just become attracted to you, whether it's the new friendships that you've been desiring, the romantic partner, the dream job, the dream creative expression opportunity, like the dream vacation. It's wild.
Yeah.
How aligning with that and quote unquote being cool and confident helps you to manifest that life that you love.
You guys are the coolest anyways.
I know, truly.
This is just the reminder.
You don't need us
so much. We love you so much from your cool aunts, basically. We're your cool aunts telling you how to be cool. We're like, say Riz. Send memes all day. Do the things that are cool. We have over 700 more episodes for you guys to dig in. We have really beautiful solos that Lindsey and I have done together. I've done solos myself, and so has she. We have some of the best teachers and leaders that have spoken on the podcast. So definitely peruse the archives. You can subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also listen to our second show, Morning Microdose, which is Eclipse channel. It's incredible. It's got the best of Almost 30. And you can find us on TikTok and Instagram. Come cruise. They're amazing social channels that have so much value. It's Almost 30 Podcast.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We have new episodes every week, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.